Hi everyone, my name is Bev Herscovitch. I am a woman with so-called invisible disabilities living in Ward 12, Toronto, St. Paul's. I am also an Access Animator for the GTA Disability Coalition, a group of organizations that aims to advance the accessibility, voices, and inclusion of disabled and deaf people across the GTA. It's no secret that we're in a housing crisis, but like with many other areas of society, people continue to overlook the fact that disabled Toronto residents disproportionately struggle to find affordable housing. Please, when the Mayor and City Council focuses on their housing investments in the 2025 budget, I implore you to consider the critical needs of this equity-deserving group. Disabled people need to be supported if you actually want to improve equitable access to housing for all. People with disabilities are 4 times more likely to experience homelessness, as underscored in research from the Canadian Human Rights Commission. And it's no wonder when all provincial disability payments across the country, including Ontario, keep recipients below the poverty line, even when you factor in the very meager amount that will be included in the upcoming Canada Disability Benefit from the federal government that they promised to provide. This disability housing crisis has many causes. Yes, poverty is definitely one of them. According to the advocacy group Disability Without Poverty, they recently shared that the poverty rate for people with disabilities is twice as high as for people without. But the right type of housing is also often not there for many people. Even in 2025, the year our province was supposed to become fully accessible. Yes, it's the Ontario government's responsibility to ensure that our human rights are met, which includes ensuring access to housing. But our city doesn't have to wait, and you can do better. I'm glad that in the proposed 2025 budget, the city wants to increase the amount it invests in affordable housing. Please allocate some of those funds towards creating more accessible, affordable housing specifically, as that is not a current priority in the current budget. In the fall of 2024, Council asked staff to update the city's affordable rental housing design guidelines to support the delivery of more accessible rental homes and include standards for implementing universal design. I urge you to please make sure that this initiative receives adequate funding. Our community desperately needs this. It's also economically advantageous for the city to invest in building the vast majority of housing uses with adequate universal design principles. Kate Chung, co-chair of the Accessible Housing Network, one of our coalition's members, recently published a letter in the Toronto Star discussing how the government might save millions of dollars by building accessible housing. It would save money by leading to fewer falls, ambulance calls, ER visits, hospitalizations, reduce caregiver burnout, and costs for long-term care facilities, and by improving quality of life in other ways that empower disabled people to participate in the community. Of course, we also need to support disabled people in the short term by addressing their urgent affordability needs. For example, the rent bank. I'm glad that the 2025 city budget is investing in expanding the program to support 300 more households. And I should note that disabled people disproportionately apply to this program due to disability poverty. But given how many people are struggling in the city, the current allocated amount is not enough. I urge you to please increase allocation beyond the proposed $8.2 million increase to address escalating need, perhaps shifting funding from the police budget to do so. People with disabilities in our community need and deserve your support. Please start with committing to ensure we can access homes that address our diverse needs. And because I have a little extra time, I'll also add that when it comes to coping with the climate crisis, I know that Council's been talking a lot about implementing a maximum temperature bylaw, and this is really important, especially for disabled people who are disproportionately affected by issues like air quality or increased heat, people who get sick. So please make sure you can throw as much money towards this as possible this year, and ideally before the summer. I know that might not be realistic, but whatever you can do to create temporary measures to help people need that too. Thank you for listening and for your important work.
Okay, thank you very much.